All right, welcome to the House Environment and Transportation Committee, Thursday, April 9th, 2026, voting list number 14. We'll start with House Bill 1599. Chair Boyce.
Sorry. Thank you, Mr. Chair. House Bill 1599, subcommittee recommendation is favorable with amendments. As amended, HB 1599 establishes 1, a Chesapeake Bay Enhancement Program in DNR, 2, a Maryland Seafood Industry Financial Assistance Fund administered by Marbico, and 3, a specified process to help ensure borrower repayment of Marbico loans. Subcommittee amendment strikes the mandated appropriations and funding uses for the Chesapeake Bay Enhancement Program. 2, strike the explicit limitation of transportation projects to port activity. And 3, establish the Maryland Seafood Industry Financial Assistance Fund and authorize Marbico to transfer funds from certain other programs to the fund subject to a certain reversion timeline. Move the amendment.
Amendments moved and seconded. I just want to note on the Seafood Financing Fund, that $2 million is already in the budget. So for you fiscal hawks out there, you already voted against it. So you don't have to worry about that. Any questions on the amendments? All in favor of the amendments, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed to the amendments? Amendments pass.
Move the bills amended.
Bills moved and seconded. Any discussion on the bill? Delegate Naraki.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Delegate, would you mind just, with all those various amendments there, what is happening with the bill with all of that now? Where are we left with? Thank you.
No problem. So essentially, the bill at least establishes, so let me go back, the seafood, or excuse me, let me go back here. The Chesapeake Bay Enhancement Program is actually a program that has been happening between DNR and MDOT since about 1997. So this bill essentially codifies a program that has had an MOU process for the last over 30, probably 30 years. And so that way there is the program here, it is codified, and I would say in the future, beyond the money that's already been appropriated for this fund, if somebody wanted to put money in the fund, that would happen. In the Senate, the Maryland Seafood Industry Financial Assistance Fund was also created, also creates a bucket that has this money, but also in the future could have money from different sources or the federal government to essentially support the seafood industry, given the devastation, whether it's through weather or climate change issues, to do the first program, the Chesapeake Bay Enhancement Fund program works on oyster replenishment. And the second one would just be able to give loans to our watermen.
Okay. Thank you, Delegate. That's helpful.
Sorry.
Additional questions? Okay. All in favor of House Bill 1599 as amended, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any wish to record in opposition? Delegate Grammer. Okay. Does anyone wish to be added as a co-sponsor? Delegate Lewis. Delegate Holmes. Delegate Healy. Delegate Long. Delegate Allen, Delegate Odom, Delegate Anderson, Delegate Baylor, Delegate Morgan, Delegate Ziegler, Delegate Boyce, and Delegate Stein. Do you mind reading that back?
Yes. Okay, I am adding delegates Lewis, Holmes, Healy, Long, Allen, Odom, Anderson, Baylor, Morgan, Ziegler, Boyce, and Stein.
Everybody good? All right, we'll move on to Senate Bill 431. Chair Boyce.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Subcommittee recommendation is favorable with amendments. As amended, SB 431 is in the same posture as House Bill HB 578, which alters provisions governing endangered and threatened species and the Irreplaceable Natural Areas Program 1, defining foreseeable future and harm under the endangered and threatened species laws and modifying provisions governing listing or delisting species. 2, authorizing designation of essential habitats for endangered and threatened species and management protocols for the essential habitats. 3, requiring that DNR review and, if warranted, update regulations carrying out the Irreplaceable Natural Areas Program by July 1, 2033, and at least every 10 years thereafter. And 4, requiring DNR to adopt regulations authorizing the taking of black vultures under certain circumstances. Subcommittee amendments strike a prohibition against the taking of certain migratory birds. Move the amendment.
Minutes moved and seconded, and my understanding of the subcommittee amendments is that they resolve the NIOP concern. That came in
And Constellation Energy.
And Constellation, thank you.
Yes, they will. If they
they'll
harass
stop.
you, tell them to come see me.
Monday at 11:59, they'll stop harassing you, Delegate Healy. Any questions on the amendments? All in favor of the amendments, signify by saying aye. Any opposed to the amendments? Amendments pass.
Move the bills amended.
Bills moved and seconded. Any discussion on Senate Bill 431? All in favor of Senate Bill 431 as amended, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And it's recorded in opposition. Delegate Grammer, Delegate Anderson, and Delegate Naraki. Bill passes, and we move to Senate Bill 558. Chair Boyce.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair. Subcommittee recommendation is favorable with amendments. This bill is in the exact same posture as HB 1599. Move the amendments.
Minutes moved and seconded. All in favor of the amendments, signify by saying aye. Opposed to the amendments? Amendments pass.
Move the bills amended.
Bills moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor of SB 558 as amended, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And it was recorded in opposition. Delegate Grammer? Delegate Grammer, okay. Bill passes, and we can move on to Senate Bill 947, Chair Lewis.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Senate Bill 947. This was recommended favorable with amendments by the subcommittee. This bill repeals the Baltimore Regional Transit Commission, BRTC for short, established by Chapter 504 of the 2023, and instead establishes two new boards, a governing board for Baltimore Core Area Transit and an advisory board for commuter service. The bill also establishes minimum staffing requirements for these two new boards. The bill requires the Maryland Transportation Commission, or MTC, to make qualification and compensation determinations for certain Maryland Transit Administration, or MTA, employees. And finally, the bill requires MTA to contract with the Baltimore Metropolitan Council to complete a technical study by December 1st, 2026, regarding the creation of a state rail authority. The committee amendments alter the membership and conflict of interest standards for the Baltimore Core Transit Services Board. Move the amendments.
Amendments moved and seconded. Discussion on the amendments? All in favor of the amendments, signify by saying aye. Any opposed to the amendments?
Move
Amendments pass.
move the bill as amended.
Bills moved and seconded. Any discussion on the bill? All in favor of SB 947, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And it was recorded in opposition. Just to clarify, this bill now is two boards and a study. Okay, Delegate Baker, Delegate Grammer, Delegate Naraki. Got it? Yeah. Great, okay, thank you. Bill passes. We will move on to SB 366, Chair Lewis.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Senate Bill 366 was recommended favorable with amendments by the subcommittee. As amended, the bill establishes the Intelligent Speed Assistance System Pilot Program, which must be administered by the Maryland Vehicle Administration. The bill requires an individual to participate in the program if the individual has accumulated points for speeding violations in an amount that would result in suspension or revocation of a driver's license. Generally, an individual must be a participant for 1 year. The amendments delay implementation and extend the duration of the pilot program by 1 year, clarify the violations applicable to the pilot program, alter the waiting period for re-entry into the pilot program, and finally add more specificity to the reporting requirement. Move the amendments.
Amendments been moved and seconded. Discussion on the amendments. All in favor of the amendments, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed to the amendments? Amendments pass.
Move the bills amended.
Bills moved and seconded. Any discussion on the bill? Okay, all in favor of SB 366 as amended, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And it was recorded in opposition. Delegate Baker, Delegate Grammer, Delegate Anderson, and Delegate Naraki. Bill passes. We have some additional Senate bills that did not make it on the list, so I'm going to put them out there, and if people don't feel comfortable and want to hold them, we can come back later. But one is SB 10. This is the bill from Senator Alonzo Washington that puts a 120-day shot clock, if you will, on local government requests to state highway to place a speed monitoring system on a state highway. Now, the speed monitoring systems are subject to all sorts of other laws, so it doesn't open it up to anywhere they want. But if they're requesting to put a speed camera on a state highway in compliance with all the other laws. So for example, we have a law that allows speed monitoring systems during certain hours in school zones, right? Well, if that school zone is on a state highway, say Route 355 in my district, SHA would have 120 days to approve or reject the application. So this is a bill that we heard a few days ago. The subcommittee already voted it out, but it didn't make it on the voting list. Does anyone have concerns if we vote on that now? Okay, great. Bill's been moved and second. Any discussion on SB 10? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone wish to record in opposition? Delegate Jacobs, Delegate Baker, Delegate Grammer, Delegate Anderson, Delegate Naraki, and Delegate Morgan. Okay, we have an additional bill that's in a similar position of the subcommittee voted out, but it didn't make it on the list. It also has no amendments. This is SB 68. This is a bill from Senator Charles. You all might remember a moving story from a family member. This is the motorcycle safety bill to ensure that there's at least one question on the MVA exam related to motorcycle safety. I will say, speaking only for myself, I think there's more work to do on this in future years. Right now, motorcyclists are considered a vulnerable road user. And to me, we want questions about vulnerable road users on every exam, but we don't want to stop the progress on this bill, and it is relatively late in session. So if people are comfortable, I'd like to vote it. Is that all right? Favorable. Okay. Second. Bill's moving second. Any discussion on SB 68? Okay, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. And it should be recorded in opposition. Okay, bill passes. I appreciate everybody's flexibility, and it's really my fault they didn't get on the voting list, so thank you. We have a number of concurrences. House Bill 663, this was Delegate Rosenberg's Department of the Environment, Maryland Environmental Policy Reporting legislation. It's just a report. However, the Senate added an amendment to require the Maryland Department of the Environment to also report back on any changes in federal environmental policy that relate to nuclear power. After consulting with the sponsor and the chair of the subcommittee and the Maryland Department of Environment, I think this needs more work, so I would move not to concur with the Senate amendments. Second. All in favor? Sure. House Bill 663. This was Delegate Sandy Rosenberg's environmental reporting bill on federal policy changes. All right. All in favor of not concurring, signify by saying aye. Aye. All right. Anyone opposed? Okay. The conference committee will be Chair Stein, Delegate Frazier-Hidalgo, and Delegate Anderson. Yeah, you're up. Got it on your legislator bucket list. We got to check a lot of items really quick these next few days. The next concurrence is House Bill 1219, Climate Change, Homeowners Insurance, and Emergency Management Study. This is Delegate Frazier-Hidalgo's bill. The Senate added an additional party for the insurance study to consult when they're doing the study, so I would move to concur with the Senate amendments. All right, all in favor, signify by saying aye. And opposed to the concurrence? You're opposed to the concurrence. Okay. Delegate Grammer, for the record, is opposed to the concurrence. Next bill is House Bill 146 from Vice Chair Guyton. This is the on-site wastewater systems, requirements for inspection and pumping services, and implementation dates. This saw a lot of action on the floor. The Senate amendments make technical changes and then strike language that would have established requirements for inspection and pumping services. I would move to not concur with these significant changes from the Senate. All in favor? Yes, Delegate Jacobs. I apologize. House Bill 146. All right, all in favor of not concurrence, signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay, the not concurrence passes. The conference committee will be Chair Stein, Vice Chair Guyton, and Delegate Morgan. Hey. The next bill is House Bill 829. House Bill 829. This is from Delegate Ebersol. This is the TNC, aka Uber or Lyft, Human Trafficking Awareness and Prevention Training and Liability. The House bill changes in the Senate just conform it to the Senate bill that's already passed the House. So I would move to concur with the Senate amendments. Second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay, we have concurred. House Bill 1230 is a Prince George's and Montgomery County delegation bill related to the Washington Suburban Sanitary Commission, or WSSC. The Senate amendments, this is procurement changes for the WSSC. The Senate amendments require preference for local small businesses and local businesses, and both the Prince George's and Montgomery County House delegations have voted to accept this amendment. So I move to concur with the Senate amendments. Second. All right, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Delegate Grammer, for the record, is opposed to the concurrence of House Bill 1230. I think he might actually just be opposed to the bill, but he wants to be opposed to the concurrence. That's okay. House Bill 1164, excuse me, House Bill 1164 is from Delegate Foley. This is the limited income mechanisms bill for water companies. This is a small part of the efforts we were trying to take to help some of those Western Maryland water utilities that are under strain. The amendments in the Senate strike provisions in the bill requiring limited income mechanisms to be adopted by water and sewage disposal companies, and instead allow the Public Service Commission to require one or more of those companies to adopt a limited income mechanism in the same way as other utility companies. And so the utility companies would go to the PSC in order to adopt this mechanism. So I'd move to concur with the Senate amendments to House Bill 1164. Okay. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. And wish to record in opposition? I'm sorry? Right, you're right. Delegate Grammer does have to abstain. We want to just note that somewhere. Just for the record, Delegate Grammer has to abstain. House Bill 578 from Delegate Polakovich Carr. House Bill 578 is an identical, will be an identical cross-file to Senator Brooks's SB 431, which we just took up. The Senate amendments would conform it to the bill we just passed. So I would move to concur with the Senate amendments. Second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay. I'm sorry, Delegate Grammer for the record is opposed. I apologize. House Bill 30 from Delegate Foley. Again, House Bill 30, Public Safety, Department of State Police, Police-Initiated Towing Alterations, the Foley Towing Act of 2026. The amendments strike the reference to commercial vehicles made inaccurate by the bill, because now it's not just commercial, if I remember correctly. And so this is sort of a technical fix that we missed the first time, so I would move to concur with the Senate amendments. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any wish to record in opposition? Okay, concurrence passes. We also have House Bill 451 from Delegate Fraser Hidalgo. Again, that's House Bill 451. This is the Maryland Zero Emission Electric Vehicle Infrastructure Council, membership duties and sunset repeal. The Senate put back in representatives of the fuel cell electric vehicle industry into the bill. It's a seat that's long been vacant, but they want to keep an empty seat there, and so we will happily go along with that after talking to the sponsor. So I would move to concur with the Senate amendments. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any wish to record in opposition? Delegate Grammer wishes to be opposed. And finally, House Bill 342 from Delegate Baylor. Again, House Bill 342, forestry licenses, applicant qualifications, and alterations. There was an incidental taking, I'll say, an error when we passed the bill that struck the 2-year experience requirement for a forestry license. That was inadvertent, and so the Senate put that back in. So if it's all right with Delegate Baylor, I'd move to concur with the Senate amendments. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any wish to record in opposition? Okay, that is all we have for now, but as you can imagine, we will have a few more concurrences, and we have at least one other bill pending in appropriations for potential action there, and of course, whatever else comes our way, plus the energy conference. So more to come in our last few days together. But thank you all so much. See you on the floor. Yes, Delegate Morgan.
559 and 1535.
We are waiting for appropriations on a few bills, and that's what those are. All right, thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.